Hi guys, this is our third cafe chat. We're a little late on this one, doing it in the lobby in Berlin. It's been a busy couple weeks, but we're gonna talk about that third week in Paris. And I'll start. We went to Versailles one of the days. I believe it was Tuesday of that third week in Paris. We all went, and this was probably one of my favorite trips of the whole, I guess, study abroad program. I just really enjoyed frolicking through the forest and looking at and foraging for mushrooms, and I thought the history there was fascinating. One of my favorite things to see was the Queen's Hamlet, which was basically a bunch of cottages that the Queen built to have her own little village. We also saw, and it has based off of some ancient Asian mixed with Greek structures, is what they built the Trianons, which are also what Marie Antoinette and King Louis the 14th. Yeah, they lived in there. It was like their little hunting lodge, but it was basically very beautiful, and you just kind of got to meander through all of that, and I don't know, it was a very interesting experience. Yeah.
I thought the Palace of Versailles was very cool. Another thing that we did kind of last minute was we all went to the Musée de la Homme. And that's basically like an anthropology museum. Personally, that was one of my favorite museums ever. I'm very interested in anthropology. I know Jenica and I took the same class our first semester and we didn't even know, and it was about origins of human diversity. But just getting to see how evolution worked, and they had a bunch of different skeletons and sculptures, basically showing and demonstrating how we all kind of deviated from a certain animal, and also just getting to see how diversity of the world. I know one part they had a whole wall of all these different languages, and how they spoke different tongue languages, and that was really cool to hear. So yeah, just getting to see all the variety of different skeletons and how we evolved was very interesting.
I'm also going to talk about Versailles because there was just so much there, but I'm going to talk specifically about the palace because it has an interesting history. It originally started as a hunting lodge for the royal family of France, but King Louis XIV loved this hunting lodge so much that he decided to expand it and turn it into a palace, and this palace then became the headquarters of the royal family of France for his time and for others beyond that, until the end of the monarchy, basically, with King Louis XVI. So he just renovated it, expanded it, and just basically made it the gaudiest building that you will ever walk into. Kind of basically to show off his wealth and tell everyone he was royalty. And yeah, just walking through it and just seeing all of the gold embroidered things, and just it was just very rich and gaudy. Yeah, the history behind it was kind of cool, just because he was like, I like this place so much, we're gonna uproot all of the royal family and drop them in the middle of nowhere, essentially, at the time. So it was kind of funny how he just totally changed French history with that.
The Palace of Versailles was so interesting to me. Just a little bit more on that. Marie Antoinette's bed is so tiny.
Yeah.
That's
small lady. Small lady.
And then I thought it was insane how they literally have just rugs on the wall.
The velvet tapestries.
And the velvet, oh my gosh! It's did you actually like being in here, or was it just a show off?
It was toasty too. I don't know how they survived.
It was warm in there. And it wasn't even that warm outside that day.
Yeah.
It was a nice day.
Yeah.
But anyways, my thing is a really history based. It's kind of a little fun tidbit of what we did. But in the garden next to the Louvre, they had a huge carnival going on, and Savannah, Jenica, and I went. It was a really great experience. They had this ride that we went on. It's kind of pricey, €50, but it went so high and so fast. You were pulling 5Gs, I think. So
Wow.
it felt
You
insane.
can see the Eiffel Tower.
You can see
from the top.
The cars. So there were two sides of it. There was I guess the north and the south side. and like we were sitting on the northern side. Basically, so our view was of the Eiffel Tower and like that area of Paris, which was so nice. It was crazy. I saw the Eiffel Tower upside down. So that was fun. And then when it flipped to us being on the other side, I saw the whole strip of the carnival upside down. It was just crazy. Oh my gosh, it was a really cool ride. And like the lady that was sitting next to us was laughing at the boys behind us because they were acting like little scaredy cats. It was a good time. And then after that ride, we went on this like scary ride. I don't know. It was so weird. I don't think it was worth the €5 because all it was you were just sitting in a little cart and you would stroll around like in this dark room and these people would try to jump out and touch you. I personally didn't like it. I was very uncomfortable, but Savannah definitely screamed out of it and that was funny. And then let's see. After that, so you know those like rope climbing or like ladder climbing things? They had one of those. They're usually scams, but this guy totally showed everybody off and like climbed up that thing in like 2 seconds. It was insane. Yeah, that was it.
Very fun last night in
Very
Paris.
fun last night. Yeah, it was the last night in Paris. It was fun. Yeah.
Okay, well, last week in Paris, I actually had a great time. Just because we did so much, I think. But one thing, I actually went on 2 day trips on my own. The first one, I took a train. Well, first of all, both of these days I was like trying to catch the train because the train system is much more confusing than the metro system, which is super straightforward when you just look at the signs. But when you get to the trains, it's like you don't know where you're going because you have to look at the GPS. I don't know. It's a whole thing that I had to figure out in a short amount of time. Anyway, so I took the train up to Vernon, which is about 45 minutes away. And then I took a mini train out to Giverny, which is where Monet's house was. So I got to visit his gardens, which inspired a lot of his art. And I got to go inside his house, and then see the water lily ponds. And the whole thing was just really beautiful. I learned that he spent a lot of time there, and then he would make regular trips back to Paris to be able to exhibit his art and all that. But then, like, as he got older and older, the trips to Paris became less and less and less, and he ended up just passing away at his house. And so he's buried at the church about 15-minute walk away. So I thought that was really nice. And then after that, I went back to Vernon and took the train further to Rouen. And when I was there, I was just there for, 4 hours before I went back to Paris. But I got to see something called, I think, it was like a dungeon of sorts, but it was for Joan of Arc. And I think a lot of the Joan of Arc related stuff is there. Now, I didn't really have time to fully explore everything, but this dungeon was really cool to see, and it was kind of hidden off to the left when you first walk out of the train station, but it was just a big, like, tower. And it definitely looked like something straight out of, a night story. Medieval times. But yeah, Rouen is really pretty. They also have a huge, massive cathedral. The thing that people like to see there is actually the cathedral, which is super tall. It was under renovation, like everything else that we've seen on this trip. But it was really beautiful. I walked around inside. There's great thrift shopping, lots of cute little shops. So yeah, that was a great day trip. And then the other day trip I went on was to, I think it was called Vaux de Vicomte. And it was another chateau, another castle, kind of out in the middle of nowhere, just like Versailles. But this chateau is actually older than Versailles. And one thing I learned while I was there is that it was kind of an inspiration for Versailles in terms of like how the gardens are structured, and the architecture and the interior design of the chateau. So I thought that was really interesting. You can tell that it's a little bit older. It's not nearly as extravagant as Versailles, But the gardens are really impressive, and there's a whole like water system that I learned about. The gardens are huge. But yeah, that was really fun.
I think that's everyone. So yeah, that was our last week in Paris, which is kind of sad. But and today
It was a good trip.
yeah, it was a good trip. So, yeah.